The danger of self-reframing. A long time ago, I used to work with this guy. He was a Christian fundamentalist, which meant he believed that the Bible was literally true. He was always talking about God and God's plan and how to best live to the glory of God. And one day he came in and explained how he failed to make toast that morning. He put bread in the toaster and it burned. He put more bread in the toaster and it burned. He put bread in a third time and it burned. And his honest response to that event was that God didn't want him to make toast that morning. Of course, I thought to myself, maybe God wants you to learn how to use a toaster. Events happen. Then we give meaning to events. Most of the time, for most people, the meaning and the event are the same thing. We rarely think of them as being different or even potentially different, but it is possible to take the same event and give it different meanings. This process is commonly referred to as reframing. The most famous example is the farmer and his sons. One of his sons finds a wild horse. His neighbors say he's lucky. The farmer says, maybe. The next day, the son is trying to break in the horse, and the son breaks his leg. The farmer's neighbors say he's unlucky. The farmer says, maybe. The next day, the government comes by and collects all the able-bodied men to war, where they all die. The son with the broken leg wasn't brought to war, so he's still alive. His neighbors say, lucky. The farmer says, maybe. This is as far as most of us go with reframing. We let the passage of time do the reframing for us. As time passes, more things happen, and as we experience those things, that gives us a different perspective on the things that happened before, so we can give those a different meaning than we originally gave to them. But it is very possible to deliberately reframe events. You can reframe events from your early past to give yourself a happier childhood. You can reframe bad situations into good situations. This is the whole idea behind the phrase, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade and a shot of whiskey. If you are a salesperson, you can reframe objections that the customers have. If you're trying to get some action, you can reframe the objections to your romantic advances. Another interesting way how we naturally reframe is when we reframe ourselves when we're falling in love with somebody. As we fall in love with somebody, we'll kind of subconsciously reverse engineer our own memory so we believe that we have more in common with our love interest. We'll say things like, oh, I've always been that way, where that is the thing we suddenly remember being like, which just so happens to make us much more compatible with our love interest. If you're a fan of the Netflix dumpster fire show, Love at First Sight, you can watch this happen in real time. However, there is one kind of reframing that is very, very dangerous. It's very limiting and is actually keeping you from living the good life. And that is when you reframe yourself, but in a negative direction. For example, let's say a guy has an intention. He wants to go out and talk to some ladies, but then he gets to the bar and he loses his nerve. If he were to admit to himself that he chickened out, it would be a blow to his ego. So he reframes his own previous intention. He didn't want to go out and talk to girls. He just wanted to go somewhere social and have some fun. This is what it means to paint the target around the arrow. You think of doing something big, but then you kind of chicken out and do something less big. But then with some ego-protecting self-reframing, you pretend you believe that you wanted that less big thing all along. How do you counter this? Simple. Write down your intentions. Write down where you are going and write down what you want to happen there. You don't need to create a goofy vision board or anything. Just keep a notebook of your daily intentions. One way to do this is to get into the habit of creating a daily to-do list. Not things like picking up your laundry or buying an extra sack of eggs at the supermarket, but the things that you do that will keep you moving toward a better and better life. Things to help you become more socially outgoing and confident. Things to help you become much more financially astute and successful. Things to help you become much more romantically attractive. Write stuff down and stop reframing yourself. You only have one life. Don't settle for second best. Stop painting targets around arrows and live live large. Reframing is a very powerful tool, but it can be a double-edged sword. Reframe your life in the right direction, and you'll have a much better chance of living happily ever after. If you'd like to learn more about stuff like this, please visit mindpersuasion.com. Check out the links below. And because we make videos almost every day, please subscribe so you can continue to learn more. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching.